52, Piano Sonata number 20, Opus 49, number 2. This is the theme from the second movement. It's a beautiful piece. 3/4 time with a pickup beat. It's got one flat. We're in the key of F major. Look at the right hand. I'd like to use different fingers on these dotted patterns on the repeated note. They're saying here, I prefer to use a 3-2-1. It's important to play that half note a little louder than the 16th note. You want to feel to hear, because the tendency a lot of people will have is they'll play. There's times in music you do that, but not here. It's here. And I can do a 1, 2, 3. I just repeat it. To hear. I always feel that going to hear. And again, third line down for the repeated, I did 2-1-2, and then 3-2-3, and then the 2-1-2 here, and then for the last line there, I recommend a 2 if you can reach it. 2-1 there. You lift up and come up. And you're playing what you did before, an octave higher. Now, page 53, second line, you're up here. Yeah, it's nice to work these weak fingers. That's good. But what you can do is, rather than, the 4 is okay, but when you start that, do a 5-3, and do a 5-3. When you trail, generally 5-3 works better than 5-4, so it's, or 4-3, so here. And then for the B flat it's 4. So experiment with that, or use their finger. Either one is fine. You need to do both, but I would recommend the 5-3. There's times you need to trill like that, and this gives you some practice at that. You should do it in both hands. And then go on. Again, it's 3-2. Now here, since the black key's involved, you can do a 3-2-3, and the same fingering going on. This is sequence, and they're saying this is the end of the third line. Then for the last line, 2, and I do a 2-1 or a 1-2, and at the end, 3-2-1. That's best. You have to take a pencil them in. Although my fingering suggestions are just suggestions, the book is fine too. Maybe you prefer something else. Keep the left hand legato. Connect it. And I'm just rotating the hand. I'm transferring weight from note to note here. To the second line, last measure, I get a rest. Now I can lift up, and then here. Doesn't matter how you're fingering that, just get the notes down at the same time. And then the third line, second measure, connect those. Pretend there's a slur over them, connect them as best you can. And then back to them. Page 53, second line, last measure, you're up here, it's an F. You're moving around a little bit, just make sure it's all legato with the fingers. So the last line, you're here. Watch this fingering in the second measure, 5-2. 5-3 or 5-2-1, and then here 4-2. Put the hands together slowly. And the third line down. Now, last measure, the third line, look out. Sounds terrible, but that's what it is. It's a B flat D. Keep going, you'll be fine. Just work it out there. Then when you get that, you can put in not a lot of articulation going. It's all legato except for the slurring, and you get one staccato in there in the third line down on page 52. Make it a long staccato. There's nothing in this piece that needs to be short staccatos. Just come off of it a little early. So you can hear that. And that's about it for articulation. For the dynamics, gentle, sweet, soft at the beginning. That's the right hand. The left hand has to be very soft. Now here you're coming up. Second line at the end, you come up. Now, medium loud. See, it's a different message. It's a different melody. It's contrast, so this is a little tension, a little excitement going on here. Here, ba-da-dum, here. Come down here, and then I'd come back down to at least a medium soft, maybe a soft. Then come up and soft. So it's like at the bottom of page 52, you can get away with maybe a medium soft in here. It's a soft. Or at the bottom of page 52, just come on down to soft. You have to experiment with these dynamics, and you do that after you get to know the piece. How do you feel it? Then on page 53, here at the second line, after this. Now here, you have to feel the dynamic. To me, this is a contrast. It's similar to what we had, but now we're kind of coming down. So maybe it's only medium loud. Now you're coming up a little bit. Down. And that finishes soft. As far as the speed goes, about what I was doing, I think. It's middle of the road. And that's the flow of the piece that's middle of the road. It's the feel of it is moderato. Now, I would suggest some pedaling here because I like to put in the overtones and make this flow a little better. So I'm going to suggest the pedaling pretty much with the harmony, but would like to hear the phrasing in the right hand. So at the beginning, here, I'm not pedaling this. Pedal it in the first full measure. Here. Really, I'm pedaling it with each measure after the pickup measure. And it's overlapping pedal or lagging pedal, so the notes come first and then the pedal. And the second line, the first measure, pick up to the second measure. I typically don't pedal that because I kind of want that to sound similar to the very beginning. I didn't pedal that. So it's just the measures, and I just don't pedal that beat. at the end of the line, I don't pedal that. Now here you can pedal, this is the third line down, second measure, you can pedal the first beat, but only the first beat. Again, just the first beat. And I don't pedal this. And the last line on page 52, the first measure, I kind of have to pedal the first, I pedal the first beat, lift it up after I play the second beat because I want to connect the left hand. I need to connect that. And then lift up. And this pedaling is every measure. I don't pedal on page 53, second line, first measure. I don't pedal that. Now here, I want to hear the rest in the right hand. So if I'm going to pedal, it's only the first beat of the measure. You don't even need to pedal that. You don't need to pedal any of this. However, I still like to have a little overtones in here, a little color mixed in. So if I'm going to pedal this, this is the last measure of the second line. I'm probably going to have to change the pedal with each beat. Because if I want the overtones, I got to pedal it, but I don't want to smear it. See, that's a totally different atmosphere than this. It sounds completely different. I want to hear the rest in the right hand, but I'd like to have some overtones. And in order to do that, I got to have pedal. But I don't want to lose the rest, so I'm going to pedal it on every beat. The last line, then it's here, change. So I'm pedaling the first two beats of the measure, but I'm changing with each beat. And here, don't pedal this. But now you can pedal that beat and change it at the bar line. So it's here. So the last line there on page 53. These are just suggestions. You have to experiment with the pedal. But again, learn it first without the pedal so you can hear everything and making sure all your fingers are doing all the stuff they're supposed to do. And then when you add pedal, you can hear exactly the sound it's making, the change it's making to the sound. It's very important. What you don't do is just blindly pedal the whole thing. Look, that only works if you're not listening. And if there's somebody listening to you who is actually listening to what you're doing, they're thinking, something's a little blurry here, something's wrong. They may not know what it is. So be conscious of when you're using the pedal.